Okay, welcome back to Library Nocturne. Happy New Year if you celebrate the Gregorian calendar. Hopefully I'm reaching people who don't. But welcome back and thank you for joining me. I am excited to be here and I am excited to have you join me as we're embarking on a new year. And actually the Chinese New Year is coming up. So we're getting a lot of steam right now on newness and transition. And thank you for being part of this transition with me. Today's video, I can't even say it will be a little bit different because I've already done several different types of videos on this channel. If this is your first time joining me, I have done ASMR videos. I'm a dancer, so I've posted a freestyle, which I hope to post more soon. I've vlogged, I guess, me learning. I'm beginning to learn how to sew. I'm really interested in making clothes and fibers and textiles in general. So I'm really excited to be going on that journey and documenting that and sharing that all with you as well. And I've also done a little bit of commentary, which is what I will be doing today. And I thought it would be nice to start off with something fun. Actually, I am going to close this a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so I wanted to start off with something fun, and I thought the perfect thing would be to start off with Hoochie Daddies. Now, I'm sure if you're joining me, I don't know. I'm not sure of anything like that. I don't know. We're just all in the world right now. But you might have heard of, and you probably have heard of the reality show called Hoochie Daddies, made by Woody Woo. She is a masculine of center lesbian, and entertainer, and honestly, show creator. This isn't even her first show, actually. And she gathered, I think it's 8 of them, 8 other masculine of center black lesbians. They ain't no studs though. They Hoochie Daddies. Okay, very important difference here. And she's gathered them into a competition, really. I think I was actually the most surprised to learn that it was a competition and not just Hoochie Daddies in the house, you know what I mean? Like a real world sort of situation. They are actually competing. Although I do like the format of this competition more because instead of a person getting eliminated and going home each episode, what happens is that Woody actually gives the participant a chance to earn points over the season. And then of course the person with the most points at the end is the one who wins the Hoochie Daddy chain in the 2-week vacation. I forgot where they went, but an island somewhere. I don't know, somewhere. It looked cute. But so it's a competition, and that made it really way more exciting for me because then it gives it more of a purpose. I think sometimes, of course, the experiment of just gathering people in a house, I suppose, will never get old. But I do think there's something to be said for there to be like an objective to kind of keep people's minds focused on why they're there. And yeah, but along the way, it's the competition is the friends they made along the way. You know what I mean? Like, I do think because of the structure that it wasn't a person going home each episode, it allowed for a lot more camaraderie than you would probably see in a competition setting. Like a lot more genuine camaraderie. I feel like there's always the camaraderie of you're doing something really crazy and intense that you get when you do that with a group of people. But I could imagine if a person's going home every episode or day or whatever, it's pretty hard probably to get attached to those people. But this one, everyone was able to stay the whole cycle of time, which I don't quite know. Maybe like a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know how long actually they were in that house, but it was actually really beautiful to see, which is actually how what led to today's desire to talk about it. And my conclusion ultimately that Hoochie Daddies is a good show. I don't know if there's gasps out there, people rolling their eyes, I don't know, their eyebrows are up, but I feel like, of course, you know, this is like, unfortunately, a lesbian production at this time. So the mics are questionably present, maybe in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? There's no boom to speak of, no boom operator or anything like that. You know, we're really, it's actually really, we're gonna call it guerrilla style filmmaking. Okay. And you know, the more, I guess, technical aspects of like a show and a competition and all that thing. I mean, this is probably Woody's first competition, I could imagine, like show. And there's gonna be hiccups along the way. And this is why creating is an iterative process. And beyond those aspects, I really admire and appreciate Woody for actually taking the leap to make this show and to make it what it is. Honestly, shout out to Woody. She's an Aquarius always coming in the game doing something different, and honestly, she's no different. She's different, but she's not different, you know. It was just actually, I think for me, what the best part of Hoochie Daddies is actually the fact that it was made for and by Black masculine of center lesbians. Like, to me, this is the most authentic representation of themselves and of their culture and their relationships and even their beliefs and their mores without any external influence, because they also don't necessarily, they go out for one of the challenges and, you know, hey, but for the most part, this is a really self-contained world and a really self-contained production, and that's like historic. You know, you can't even name another show like this is historical. Just the simple fact that it exists and it is for and by Black masculine center lesbians is something to behold. You know, ooh, I have a notebook, naturally. So I'm glad I read my notebook, because a lot of people are probably most familiar with the Hoochie Daddies from the Free Britney Griner video. I would say it was giving like a Negro spiritual performance, honestly. And that is all in all seriousness, like the cadence of it, the formation, what was going on, what they were hoping to achieve, and what they honestly achieved. If we're going to be quite honest, Hoochie Daddy season 1 cast got Britney Griner free. Let's be clear about that. Like, I know it was like funny at the time, and you know, just what they were doing, because it's like, what's going on? Like, you've never seen that. We've never seen that. But the cause was always noble, you know what I mean? And they put their hearts into it. You can feel their seriousness, and you can feel the energy, to me, of like they were really directing all of their intention into this goal of getting Britney free, and she's free today. So shout out to Hoochie Daddies for getting Britney Griner free, honestly. You know, so to say its first appearance to me in public culture, you know, I think started out, and it has continued to be misunderstood in a lot of ways. You know, I definitely was, I will say, a skeptic before I watched the show, honestly. Like, okay, what could they be getting up to? Like, you know, we could see them every day, and what are they getting up to? You know what I mean? What could this show be about? But I do think, like I said, it being a competition really gave it some bones, and gave it like a structure that kept it from honestly just dissolving into chaos, which is what I feel like a lot of people are hoping for when they just gather people in a house. And then I'm talking about other, like, truly like Real World or all this other stuff, you know. We're just wherever you're gathering people, but there's no goal and there's nothing to do except for like drink and spin out, crash out. this had a purpose. You know what I'm saying? There was something to do here. And I loved it. Of course they have a film challenge. They have to get femme, and honestly, they were all really beautiful in their femme wears. Lots of good femme performance, to be honest. I know they're masculine, and so every day this is not how they choose to present themselves, but honestly, a lot of them were game for trying it out. They took it serious. There were a couple who were a little bit more gender variant, I would say, and so they had actual experience wearing makeup, being more femme. And I do think that is also one of the strengths of the show, is that there were different types of black masculines. Like, they're all hoochie daddies, right? They're not a regular stud, but there were still different types. There were still different gender expressions, and just in the gender with like color, I think about like a color wheel. I feel like that is the best actually representation I can think of it, where everybody's landing differently with their expression and their experiences. And it was just really nice to see, honestly. It was a really sincere portrayal, and that can not be understated, to be honest with you. Another fact actually to me that can't be understated is that all of the seasons so far have been filmed in the South, with the first season being filmed in Jacksonville. The second was filmed in Houston, I believe. And then the third one actually was filmed in Atlanta, which is funny because I'm familiar with Atlanta. And that's actually, I can't wait actually for the next season to come out. I really can't wait to see what they've been getting up into, honestly, especially if they were filming during the summertime and they were filming during Black Pride. Like, I just don't know. So hopefully it'll come out soon. But I think that is a really important fact, honestly, because the South still has so much of a loaded reputation, and a lot of, to me, social and political and like cultural commentary, honestly, especially for people who've never been and who aren't from here, I think there's just a lot of misconceptions. And I think one of the biggest conceptions is that only like racist old white people live here or something like that. And I know in people's like logical brains, they would probably say, oh yeah, they know that it's not whatever. That is, to me, the general perception and how people like treat the South. Like, when things go wrong down here and everybody's like, yeah, that's why, because it's red state. It's like, girl, every type of person lives in the South. It's not just Jeb and Billy Bob or whoever you're thinking and imagining of when you think of the South. Like, it's Woody, it's Stud King, it's King, it's J Cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's very diverse types of people who live in the South. And I think maybe because some of that diversity is not necessarily like geographic diversity, that people feel like there aren't different types of people down here, or that everybody is like a hive mind, or everybody is that racist person. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people live here. This is where the most black people in the United States live, as a matter of fact. So I think it's very accurate to have a show that is not only like produced by someone who lives in the South, but also features and like stars a lot of people who are from the South, like black masculine lesbians. Like, they are here. They are a big part of our culture, to be quite honest. And I think this show really accurately captures that and honors that. Like, I love it. I am a Southern girl through and through. It's my home. it's just everything to me. So I just love to see it, honestly. And there were a couple people like there was someone from DC. I think there was somebody from Baltimore. I think there was maybe like one person from the Midwest. I can't remember exactly where, but it was really comprehensive. You know what I mean? In terms of, well, I mean, I guess because was there anyone from Cali? I actually don't know. Or just like out west. I can't say. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was very southern based. And actually, I feel like south to like Midwest. I do feel like that was the biggest portion of where the participants came from. So yeah, I just think stories from Black masculine lesbians from the South that are for them, that are about them, are really important, honestly. And the challenges were fun, boxing, and I think they had like a cooking challenge, and what else did they do? Oh, they had to go to the beach and like talk to people and get numbers, like, just like house challenge type of stuff, like really to see what you're made of as a hoochie daddy. Now the one that was crazy was them like going shot for shot. Now that was crazy, because then there was tattoos. Like, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really gotta, like, hello. But otherwise, of course there were a couple fights. There were a couple that didn't like each other. I mean, that's, to me, that happens in any production. That's part of like what happens when people get together randomly. But then also, I think another part of it was just really hearing their mores. Which, do I agree with them? Like, no, but I appreciate and respect their right to get together and to express them and to have those conversations amongst themselves, such as Stud for Stud. That is like a big one still, which again, they're not no regular studs, they're Hoochie Daddy, but I do think you can still see some of the like conditioning maybe from typical culture. So, there's pitfalls in it all, right? It's pros and cons, of course, but I think overall it's a great show. It's funny. The cast members are funny. They're engaging. They're really sincere, and I think they all came with like a really good spirit about it. Like, nobody seemed to come like to be malicious. Nobody came to be a hard nigga and fight and, all that other stuff. Like, of course, that's what they all think they are. But, there's some who will just like fight on sight. And none of these particular people were that. So I really appreciated that. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what else to say, because I think you just should watch it. It's free on YouTube. It's free on Tubi. And you should just settle in and watch it. It's season 3 is coming. I don't know what happened in season 2. Woody, what's going on? Where's season 2? We need to see that. We're trying to do a rewatch before season 3 comes out. So when that becomes available, you should watch season 2 as well. But yeah, I didn't want to like belabor it at this time anyway. But just to say that Hoochie Daddies is a fun show. It's great. I think it actually is a beautiful thing that exists. We need more of it. And you should check it out. And you should watch the new season when it drops. Like, in all seriousness. Like, thank you, Woody, for creating this. To all the contestants who have been on it so far. It's just been a really fun ride. And shout out to Stud King and Dyke God, because we're never going to get tired of a tape and pasties Hoochie Daddy around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we actually need more of that. Shout out to them. In fantasy, as a dancer doing her thing. Maya B from Georgia singing, Jay Cash with the femme performance, you know what I'm saying? King, just a real one. Taz, real representing DC. Shout out to Homestead Entertainment, because I believe them as a distributor are the ones who brought Hoochie Daddies to Tubi, and they have also brought another black lesbian production called Studs vs. Femmes to Tubi as well, which I think also is a fun romp. I don't know if it's as it's still, of course, historical because it's the first show of its kind, but I definitely think the Studs versus Femmes, obviously, we're going in a more traditional route and an oppositional route, which I hate. I don't want to see Studs versus Femmes. It's Studs versus Femmes every day in the world. We don't necessarily need that on TV per se. But I do think it was fun because it wasn't actually even as dramatic or... Studs versus Femmes, it could get pretty nasty, I think. But it actually kept it really classy for the most part. That is like a very relative qualifier in the sense of it wasn't just studs going there to attack femmes. It wasn't just femmes going there to attack studs. Like, they were there also in a competition that actually really had nothing... I won't say nothing to do with them being studs or femmes per se, but it had more of a real world road rules vibe to it, where they were in the house, there was challenges, and some people still went home, but it was also a party and people were vibing, they were chilling, getting to know each other, having a good time, and there was drama, of course. And shout out to Kiana J, because this is apparently her second show. So, yeah, black lesbian media right now, even though everyone, let's get some mics. We can get a mic pack for people, get a boom, somebody get some Foley. We need good sound quality and mixing, y'all. We need the mics. We got to have mics so we can hear what y'all saying. But other than that, like, people are getting their shows off and people are doing things that are groundbreaking and they're historical, and it's really beautiful to see and to be able to take part in real time, honestly. So I'm just grateful for it, and shout out to Woody Woo, shout out to Kiana J, shout out to everybody who are on these shows, who auditioned, who believed in these shows, because that's really what we need. We need renegade guerrilla media. So shout out to y'all. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I will be back hopefully soon to talk about something else. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I hope you join me. I hope you're having a great year so far, and I hope you're having a great day, week, evening, wherever you are. I hope that you're doing well, and that you'll join me next time in Library Nocturne. I've been Black Fairy, and I will see you all later. Ciao.